How long ago, it seems, were the X-rays known now to the whole world like X-rays, were proclaimed universal means with which you can but turn a piece of lead into an ingot of gold. Ray carried directly into the human brain various information, such as graphs, tables, sketches, anatomical preparations, etc. Rays, areas of their application, pioneers of the broad. Doctors began to use X-rays. However, analysis of the results of the very first X-ray experiments, gene diagnostics, brought a lot of disappointments. It turned out that it was impossible to obtain a clear image on film or screen of many human organs called body. How to overcome this disadvantage, which reduces prices, the value of a new, promising method? Scientists a lot worked on the creation and implementation of such so-called contrast radiological methods. Sky research. Drugs were synthesized which are introduced into the cavities of various internal organs, esophagus, stomach, intestines, gallbladder, zeer, bladder, etc., and make them visible. But the use of liquid contrast agents did not completely solve the problem. After all, not everything organs have cavities. These are, for example, the spleen, liver, thyroid, pancreas, prostate, glands. In addition, liquid preparations are not always create the necessary contrast. In search of ways to improve X-ray diagnostic statisticism, researchers turned to the idea of using oxygen as a contrast medium. And this gas perfectly justified its expectations of hope. Liquid contrast agents, such as, example, an aqueous suspension of barium or iodolipol, inserted into the cavity of one or another organ, give high-intensity shadow radiographs, repeated its striking outlines. Oxygen is completely transparent to X-rays. It creates light, a dark background around the organ being examined. As a result, on film or on an X-ray screen it is obtained sharp image. Using liquid contrast substances, the researcher sees an impression of the internal contours of the organ, and with the help of oxygen it reveals its external outlines. In addition, oxygen has the property of separating from each other organs located nearby, and this cannot judge the presence of adhesions or any other exchanges. The experts were pleased to see that oxygen reveals anatomical elements, which are not visible in regular photographs. When this gas was first introduced into the knee and other joints, doctors got the opportunity to see on X-rays, on the screen, cartilages, menisci, ligaments. Considerable benefits are obtained from the use of oxygen. No surgery. Before starting the operation, the surgeon must know where exactly the pathological disease lurks. Sky hearth. This is especially important for diseases. All these organs and vessels on a regular X-ray create one vast shadow. Pictures in various overcome diagnostic difficulties, but not completely stew. In such cases, oxygen is essential. Delineating the vessels and organs located in the area mediastinum, gas provides the possibility of significant. It's definitely better to see certain pathological changes. It has long been used in medicine to treat pain due to pulmonary tuberculosis. The introduction of oxygen into pleural cavity, artificial pneumotomy racks. Not everyone knows that this method, but using with a smaller amount of gas, it is much easier to. There is no diagnostic process. Not so long ago in the X-ray radiological, the Institute received a patient whose prophylactic technical fluorographic study was a tumor was discovered in the upper chest key. It was unclear where exactly it was located, in lung or mediastinum. After administration of oxygen into the pleural cavity of the upper part of the lung slightly shrank and shifted downwards, but the tumor remained inaccessible. Visionary, it became obvious that it was located outside lung. Further research made it possible to clarify thread and the nature of the tumor. Turned out that the patient benign tumor of the posterior mediastinum neoneuromal, which does not have to be removed. What about stomach diseases? In their recognition to oxygen may be involved. It is administered by puncture of the anterior abdominal wall. This procedure uncomplicated and almost painless. If at the same time, if you inflate the stomach with gas, then its walls are visible both from the outside and from the inside. Specialists can judge their thickness, configuration, elasticity, The position of the stomach in relation to neighboring organs, liver, spleen, diaphragm, pancreas. Oxygen has been successfully used in the treatment and diagnosis of diseases of the central nervous system stems. Neurosurgeons in some cases resort to the so-called stereotactic operations YAM. Miniature electrodes are inserted into certain brain zones. Accurate, targeted hit of electric it is impossible to reach the necessary nuclei of subcortical formations, can be achieved without using oxygen. Quite often the endocrinologist faces dilemma. What does the patient have? A tumor of the thymus gland or a cyst? How serious? How serious is the adrenal disease? Chechens. How much thyroid tissue has grown glands with thyrotoxicosis? Solving these issues facilitates X-ray examination with change in oxygen. Russian radiologists were able to clearly identify with the help of oxygen even such small anatomical formations as salivary glands. This technique developed in the USSR adopted by doctors from Hungary, Sweden, Italy, USA. Well, what about other gases? Are they used in diagnostics statistical purposes? Yes. Specialists often use their carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide and even atmospheric air, but preference is still given to oxygen. Why? Practice has shown that the processes of resorption, the concentration of this gas in the body goes exactly like this at the pace required by the X-ray technique. Research. There is no doubt that diagnosis using gases are an interesting and promising direction in radiology. The inquisitive thought of researchers, relying on the experience and achievements of physics, electronics, physiology and many other branches of knowledge, looking for new opportunities for targeted use of X-rays for the benefit of humans, have decreased significantly radiation dose. Thank you for watching. Come to my channel, watch more videos and if you can, subscribe and like.